Hey there, and welcome to Know Your Vibes Astrology. I'm Katie, and today I want to talk to you about transiting Pluto and where he's going to be from February 28th until June 29th. And the reason why I'm honing in on this specific time period is because Pluto is going to spend that entire 4-month chunk at 1 degree in the zodiac wheel. So there are 360 degrees in the zodiac. So to spend that much time on one of so many different areas in the zodiac wheel is a big deal. And so the energy that we're going to be feeling here is going to be intense. Pluto's also going to go retrograde on April 27th. And so that as well will bring some intensity and bring some things up for us. And so I want to talk about what that energy is going to be bringing up for us and how we can move through that. So Pluto is going to be at 26 degrees Capricorn. And so if you have access to your birth chart, go ahead and pull that up and look and see where 26 degrees Capricorn is. What house is it in? Is there any planets there? And give yourself a little bit of a range. So, I mean, if it's not exactly at 26, you can pay attention to others. But if it's at 26, then it's especially going to be a potent time for you. Maybe a tough 4 months, but you got this. I promise you do. And see where that's at. You could also too look and see what else is at 26 degrees in your birth chart. Maybe not in Capricorn, if it is opposite in Cancer or square in Aries or Libra, trine in the other earth signs, sextile in the other water signs, whatever there is, you can definitely see what Pluto is happening here. But this is an important time for us to deal with this Pluto energy. Even if you don't have anything at 26 degrees Capricorn, make sure you look and see what house that energy is in, because that is still going to be an important theme for you. You're still going to see transformation there, and it's still going to be kind of really insightful. You could also look to see what stage in the house you're in. Are you towards the beginning, towards the end? And think about what that topic of the house is. What does it mean to be in an early stage, mid stage, late stages of development of that energy, and having transformation at those different energies? Because when you get something that is moving so slow like Pluto, those nuances really do make a big difference. So Pluto, as we know, is the transformer planet. It tears things down, often with it bringing heaviness, loss, trauma, hurt, pain, and grief, and just these painful power struggles and emotional losses and energies like related to abandonment and things like that. So it can be kind of heavy in what it brings. It doesn't have to just bring that, and there's usually some, thing behind that Pluto is really trying to get us to tap into. It strips things bare, it strips things down, it tears things down, it takes away the kind of like earthly attachments, so you can really understand your connection to something and your power, the power other people have around you, and how you want to balance that so you can really live a life that is empowering and intimate and connected and surrendering to the moment. So Pluto, where he is in your birth chart, is going to be really kind of focusing in on how can we go in deep? How can we, bypass the fluff, bypass the resistance to change? How can we really surrender to what is coming up here? Wherever your Pluto is, you will have been feeling it for a while. And you will probably have been feeling this energy of this big push to change. Maybe there's things that are coming up from the woodwork, the shadows that are kind of creeping up and stuff. And maybe you've been trying to keep those shadows under wrap or trying to keep them away, but they are coming up. They're wanting to be acknowledged. So really with this transit is how can you surrender and go with the flow and dive deep into that Pluto space of transformation, of shadow work, of listening to these wounds so we can heal them, or recognizing where there's power imbalances in your life so you can restore them and reclaim your power, or where you're feeling called to get intimate and passionate about something so you can really kind of surrender fully to your destiny and your spark. Those kind of things that we want so much, we're often afraid to lean into because what if we don't get it? What if we don't make it? And Pluto's going to kind of help us dive after that and pursue that in that energy. When Pluto goes retrograde, it is moving forward, so we're externally going through that process of transformation, alchemy of tearing things down to rebuild them, tearing things down to get to the heart of it, to make sure that, we are really connected to our power, healing ourselves, healing our power structures, reclaiming ourselves and what makes us special and what makes us us, and stepping into our destiny. when Pluto goes retrograde, that stops, that energy shifts, and Pluto stops moving forward from our vantage point on the Earth, at least, and then starts moving backwards. And when that happens, the energy goes inward. And so now we are no longer trying to transform things externally, but it's really about how we're transforming internally. How are we going through this release process inside of ourselves? How are we, confronting our own personal power struggles? Where are there different voices or different aspects of yourself that maybe are contending and fighting each other? You can really look to the power struggles maybe you've noticed externally, and what do they mirror about you internally? What are you noticing about them internally that maybe there are some ways for you to heal something, or to restore your power, or to connect to something more intimately. There is this energy as well too of being able to let go of and grief from within, grieving old parts of yourself, or really also too as well, I get this energy of a retrograde is retracking what we've already covered. And so from February 28th, when Pluto enters 26 degrees Capricorn, until April 27th, when it goes retrograde, there's going to be a certain degree of energy coming up that we're going to be dealing with. There's going to be themes that we notice. When it goes retrograde, it's about taking those themes deeper and exploring them more. And so really pay attention what is happening in your life when it comes to power, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to trust, when it comes to healing, when it comes to all of these Pluto things. Notice what is happening, and really notice, where are you resisting? Where are you hesitant? Where are you not wanting to dive into this Pluto energy? And then when Pluto goes retrograde from April 27th, and then it will be in 26 degrees until June 29th, use that time to kind of dig a little deeper. Pluto will still be retrograde after that, so still keep digging deeper in the themes that are going beyond this period, but we're really looking at that 26th degree. So just take that time to tune in and see what's happening there. And so now let's bring in the energy of 26 degrees Capricorn. And so this is in the last decan of Capricorn, and there is some numerology I'll talk about with as well, 26. But Capricorn in and of itself is the energy of integrity and discipline and career. It is your public persona. It is the things that you are willing to build, even if you don't get instant gratification. It's the things that you are ambitious about, and that you really care about, and that you want to do the hard work to make happen. And so Pluto in general, being in Capricorn from 2008, I believe, until 2023, I might be a little bit off there, but I believe that's the range. Pluto being in Capricorn during that time, we are all going through a very big generational, shift when it comes to our future, and how we think about our future, and how we plan for our future, how we define being responsible and focusing on delayed gratification. And we're seeing changes to how we show up in our ambitions and our hard work. And so you may be noticing career changes, and that may be one of those things that maybe the destiny energy you're having a hard time leaning into if you're being called towards one career path. Maybe it wasn't as conventional in the past as maybe it will be in the future, but you're kind of here to be that trailblazer, and can you step into that? So overall, Capricorn energy is focusing on that kind of energy. You may also experience father things, authority as well too, lessons and life lessons, and being kind of from life, having to grow up and find maturity. Time, those themes may come as well as for you guys during this time. But 26 degrees is, like I said, in the third decan. And so as we know with decans, the first is ruled by the planet that is ruled by that sign, so Saturn. The second one is the next sign, so that's going to be Taurus. That would be Venus. The last one is going to be the next zodiac sign, so Virgo. If that doesn't make sense, just to skip past that. But Mercury is going to be the ruler of this decan. And so right now we are overarchingly still working within Saturn and Capricorn energies with the future and discipline and hard work, but we're bringing it into kind of a Virgo-esque approach where, how can we really optimize maybe our routines and our structures and our systems, our health, our work, our day-to-day life, how we show up in terms of service, how we draw boundaries, how we create mechanisms of support for ourselves. That area especially may be seeing a lot of shifts and changes. So maybe you are kind of in that stage of reworking the career energy, where now you actually have to start like shifting your day-to-day life to honor and match what you're wanting to manifest, or what you're wanting to build for yourself, or what you're wanting to kind of have. Or maybe you're in the planning stage, or the communication stage, or the improvement stage, or the mechanic stage, where you're just going in and fixing things and making things better. There is this energy of being able to surrender to your flow, surrendering to what is serving you, surrendering to not getting everything perfect and right, but also to surrendering to this ability to continue to revisit reality and make changes where you're ready for them, and using your power to make changes in reality, because you do have power over reality, and obviously, reality has its own power and essence as well too, but we do get to kind of control and influence our experiences, and we do have an influence on our experiences. And so this is one thing with Pluto, especially when it comes to your future. You have influence on how you're able to show up in this world. So focusing in on how that can help with personal development, routine and lifestyle development, whatever, works for you, kind of honing in on that. And then with the 26-degree numerology wise, you have 2 and 6, which add up to make 8, but also 2 independently as 26 stand for something. So 8 energy is a lot like Pluto and is transformative. It is all about ushering in change and releasing the old and connecting to your power. There's financial power with that as well too, especially with investments and joint finances, which is the same thing for Pluto as well. Pluto definitely rules the gems of the earth, crystals and oils and minerals and things like that. It rules joint finances and things like that. So yeah, so the 8 energy brings that in, as well too as the infinity symbol. When you turn the 8 on its side, you get this infinity symbol where, you have 2 zeros, which are universal potential. Zeros can be anything, and they amplify energy. So you have these 2 zeros together combining to create this infinite source where there is no beginning, there is no end. It's all encompassing, and no matter where you are on your cycles, there is this overarching balance and flow to it. All makes sense. And so wherever you are and your Pluto releasing energy, whatever you're releasing will come back to you in some way, but in a better way, hopefully, than where it was before. And so if you're releasing, love because it's no longer serving you, trust that love will come back, but it will be healed and kind of cleansed in a way and transformed in a way from this Pluto energy when you're willing to do that internal work as well too with that retrograde. But then 26, as a number specifically itself too, you have 2, which is about, and 20, which is about building foundations and finding your footing. You have 2 feet on the ground. It's about stability and partnership and self-worth and resources, and just kind of like starting to build something for yourself. You're past the 10s and the ones where, it's all about new beginnings and starting something, and it's starting to kind of just ground that energy in. And so we are in this energy of, despite there being Pluto transformation and change, there is a degree of stability, of balance, of trying to find our footing so we can keep moving forward. And then the 6 within that 20 cycle, the 6 is all about the same thing with that Mercury decan. So we have a lot of repetitive energy here, which is usually a sign that it's important energy, it's big energy, it's being amplified. It's not repetitive, so it only means, the energy shows up once. It's repetitive, so it's multiplied and it's stronger. 6 is a lot like that Mercury decan in the sense where it's about your routines and your structures and your flow, and how are you day-to-day life moving towards what you want? How is your, life building to support you? And so within this 26 degrees, we are dealing with this energy of, within the realm of finding our footing and finding our balance, finding our routine within that, finding our ability to keep showing up each and every day and to make something stable, to work dutifully towards something. Anybody who has 6 energy in their names or in their surnames, like both me and my partner, we have 6 as our surname, as our numerology, and both families, really come from this like stewardship kind of energy of just tending to the work and revisiting that work, and they're not afraid of that daily ritual of having to show up. So finding that balance for yourself of where you're needing to show up, and how you're showing up can help you find balance and find commitment and find grounding for what it is you're trying to create with that one energy that maybe, we are giving birth to our new beginnings. And so overarchingly, this Pluto energy is transforming the space for us. It's transforming our ability to really think about how, when it comes to that realm of discipline and career and ambitions, how are we finding stability and commitment to our commitments and to our intentions, and what routines are we creating that serves that, and how do we release along the way? How do we surrender along the way? How do we lean into along the way, both internally and externally? Wherever Pluto is going to be in your houses will tell you what area of your life this is happening in. So this could be in your relationships, if it's in your 7th house, or your sense of self, if it's in your 5th house. It could be your sense of spirit, or your dream world, or your connection to your soul, if it's in your 12th house. It could be, I'm trying to make sure I get one of all the house elements in here. It could be your career, very straightforward. If it's in the 10th house, that's a lot like Capricorn, or in your work, in your routine, which is also kind of straightforward with that 6th energy and that 3rd decan we're experiencing with the 6th house. So your house is going to tell you what area and theme overarchingly you're going to experience this. If 26 degrees is a house cusp for you, then know this is an even bigger transit for you, and really look at and really think about what is it like to transition from these things. Like, if I were to blend these two houses together, what does that doorway look like? Like, yes, there's a doorway, and yes, these are 2 separate houses, but what it is on that border, what is on that cusp energy? And I know with astrology, people say cusps don't exist, but there is a blending effect. We do see some kind of energy with that. So when it comes to houses especially, I'm all here for blending for interpretation. And so if you have 26 Capricorn on the cusp of your 7th and 8th house, so it's your 8th house cusp, then this Pluto work is transforming how you take the balance of partnerships and step into the realms of intimacy, and how you step from one door to the other. If it's coming from your 12th house to your 1st house, then it's on your 1st house cusp, so your rising sign. It's a huge transit for you. Oh my goodness, I hope you're doing okay if you're you Capricorn risings. But in that case, it's about transforming your life path and where you're going, but also to re-diving into your soul to really make sure that you're connected to your soul, and really making sure that your soul is transitioning into that life purpose, and that you are aligning from your essence into what it is you're doing. The planet that Pluto will be on for you is going to be the area of your life that is really transforming. And so if Pluto is on your Venus or opposite your Venus, you're really going to be noticing transformation in the relationship realm, and partnership, and money, and worth, and balance, and self-worth and value, things of that nature. If Pluto is on your moon, it's going to be your emotional self. It's going to be your home. It's going to be your past, your family. Those things might come up for you. If it's on your Uranus, which we have the Uranus and Neptune and Capricorn generation who are experiencing Pluto touching and conjuncting their outer planets right now, then, which I'll go ahead and say for both Uranus and Neptune, then it's going to be, transforming your ability to connect to society, your ability to embrace where you don't fit into the status quo, embracing, your ambitious part of your soul, even if it takes time, even if you have to kind of go into that imaginative space to create something and to make it happen, being able to dream and to build that dream out and trust the unexpected, that process is being transformed for you. So I'm very curious. So please let me know in the comments, where is 26 degrees Capricorn for you? And where are you experiencing this Pluto station retrograde? Where are you experiencing this transformational energy? And what has your experience been with it like? Has it been easy to move through? Has it been tough? Where are you at? And I had a moment with myself yesterday where I kind of realized that I have a lot of planets in Capricorn, but right now Pluto is not on a specific planet. It's in between 2, but it's not on one. And so I kind of have a little bit of a break. And I remember the exact moment Pluto entered this house, years ago, and what was happening in my life at that time period. And I had this full circle moment of what is Pluto doing here, and what is it trying to teach me, and how can I really just honor that and surrender that now before I get to that conjunctions when Pluto does hit my planets more, and I actually had to go through that process in more depth. And so really this is the takeaway here is how can you surrender to and embrace the transformation that Pluto wants to bring here. Let me know if you like this video. If you like more energy updates, please let me know as well too. Thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy, and I will talk to you guys next time.